In this exercise, we're going to take a look at how to design and model the gravel driveway that comes into our cell tower site here. So you can see here's our cell tower site. We've done our grading, and we also have a gravel driveway here that's connecting from the main road here, which is the London Road corridor. And we have this gravel driveway that comes off of there and connects up to our cell tower site here. So what we need to do is we need to model this gravel driveway. We're going to do that by just creating some profiles along our left and our right edges of our driveway here. We could project slopes from the center line over, but since this is just a gravel drive, we're just going to create some profiles along here, and as long as the slopes aren't too steep, we should be okay as far as our design requirements for this particular project. So to create a profile along our driveway here, I'm going to select my left edge first. So let's select our left edge of drive element here and take a look at the profile model. So you can see here's the existing ground along that element. Now what we want to do is we need to be able to create a profile that connects the beginning of the drive at the London Road corridor here, and also the end of the drive that connects up to the Tower Yard terrain model, or the Tower Yard site here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a tool called Profile Intersection Point so that we can find the intersection point of the edge of the driveway with the London Road corridor, and also the intersection point with the Tower Yard site here. So we're going to plot those 2 points in our profile window here, and then we're going to create a profile between those 2 points. So to do that, we're going to go to Profile by Intersection Points, or Profile Intersection Point tool here under our vertical geometry tools. We're going to select that. It's going to prompt us to locate the element to show the intersection. So we want to select this element here. We want to show our intersection along that element. Let me make sure I grab the right element there. So I want to select the left edge of drive, so select that. And then it's going to prompt you to locate the element that intersects that particular element. So we're looking for the back of the driveway here, or the back of the sidewalk for our London Road corridor. So wherever that intersects that point, we want to place a point here in our profile view. So I'm going to select my back of my sidewalk here, or back of walk element. And I'm also going to select my Tower Yard element over here. I'm going to right click to reset, and I'm going to fit my view. And what you're going to see is I have 2 points that are placed inside of my profile model here that represent the elevation of the back of the walk and the Tower Yard element that I selected. Okay, so that's our connection point. So now we can create a profile between those 2 points. So we can do that by just going up to our vertical tools here and do Profile Line Between Points. We want to select our feature definition, so I'm just going to select linear, pavement. I'm just going to use edge of pavement for this particular example. And we'll call this left. We'll call this left edge of drive, or EOD for short. Pick our profile window here. We'll use our AccuSnap to snap to the back of the walk point there, and then snap to the Tower Yard element here. And notice how it tells you where that point came from. It tells you that it's from the Tower Yard, tells you what the station is, and as well as the elevation. So it gives you some useful information there. Okay, so once the profile element is placed, then what you can do is come over here, select it, and then click on the context menu and set as active profile. And then it'll be displayed in the 3D model over here as a 3D feature. So you can see how it's connected to the back of the walk, and it's also connected to the Tower Yard element there at the correct elevation. So we want to use that same procedure to do the right edge of the driveway. So we'll come over here and we'll select the right edge of the driveway. We'll open it up in its own profile model view. So we'll come over here and select the view number 4. It's going to open up the right edge of driveway in view number 4. We'll come up to our Profile Intersection Point tool once again. We'll select the element to show the intersection on. So we're going to select that. It's going to ask us to locate the element that intersects. So we're going to select my back of my walk here, and and then also my tower yard element, and then we'll right click to complete, and then we'll fit our view, and we should see two little points there show up. So now what we could do is go up to our vertical tools once again and place a line between those 2 points. Again, I'll just use AccuSnap to snap to those particular points. So we'll snap to the back of the walk point, and then we'll snap to the tower yard point there. Now, you need to make sure you set your feature definitions. Let me go back here and fix my feature definition there because I forgot to set that. So we want to use pavement, right edge of pavement, and we'll call this right underbar EOD for edge of drive. And then we are complete. So now what we can do is select that, make that the active profile, and then that 3D feature will show up over here in the 3D view. Okay, now that we have our 3D features for our driveway, what we want to do is we need to add these 3D features to our terrain model for our tower yard. But before we do that, we want to adjust our grading in here because right now the grading is going underneath our driveway. So we want to change our linear template here just a little bit where the driveway connects to the tower yard here. So I'm going to select my linear template here for the tower yard. And I'm just going to pull this back a little bit so that the linear template stops just right at the right edge of the driveway here. Now another thing I want to do too as well is I want to remove my my boundary feature for my tower yard because we're going to start doing some other grading here, and I don't want a bunch of triangles going all over the place here. So I'm going to remove this temporarily, and we'll add this back in for when we start doing our grading around our driveway. So I'm going to go up to my feature management here. I'm going to remove my feature. So let's select my terrain model, remove the construction limit feature here temporarily. We'll add this back in a little bit later. So this is what I want to happen right now. See, I want to have this little gap in here because we're going to do some grading along our driveway edges here. I also need to add these 3D features to my terrain model as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go up to feature management. We'll say add features. We'll select our terrain model, select our features, left and right edge of driveway, and right click to accept. And initially I'm going to create these as boundaries just so we don't have external triangles going across the driveway edges there. So I'm going to select this as a boundary type, set this as a feature type boundary, right click to accept. And then now the terrain model is basically the tower yard and the pad and just the driveway edges. So what we're going to do after this is we'll do the grading along our driveway edges here, and then we'll come back and add in these other features to complete the model.